Revenge tastes like copper pennies and burnt coffee. That's what I discovered the moment I opened the video message from an unknown number, watching my husband of 3 years kiss Amanda Chen against his office window, 40 stories above Manhattan. I'm Isabel. Until 10 minutes ago, I was just another corporate translator with a corner office and a seemingly perfect marriage. Now I'm someone else entirely. The phone trembles in my hand as I replay the video for the fourth time. My wedding ring catches the fluorescent light of my office, mocking me with its sparkle. Each frame shows Nolan's hands moving across Amanda's back, their shadows stark against the setting sun beyond the glass. Isabel, the Korean investors are here. My assistant's voice crackles through the intercom. Tell them I'm having technical difficulties. My voice stays steady, professional, a skill learned from years of diplomatic translations. Reschedule for tomorrow morning. But Mrs. Carter, they've flown in specifically for tomorrow. I cut the connection, my eyes fixed on the screen where Nolan's betrayal plays on loop. The timestamp shows last Friday, while I was having dinner with my foster parents, celebrating Dad's retirement from the glass factory. My husband was writing his own version of our marriage vows. My phone buzzes with a text from Jenna. Lunch? That new place on 47th? I type back, need you, now, my office. 20 minutes later, Jenna bursts through my door, her marketing agency lanyard swinging. What's wrong? You never cancel meetings. She stops short when she sees my face. Oh God, who died? My marriage. I hand her the phone. Her perfectly lined eyes widen as she watches. That absolute bastard. She sets the phone down like it's contaminated. When did you get this? This morning. Anonymous number. Could be fake? I shake my head. The tie he's wearing? I bought it last month, and that's definitely his office. I've been there enough times for their holiday parties. Jenna paces, her heels clicking against the hardwood. Does Judith know? The mention of my mother-in-law sends a chill through me. Judith probably orchestrated it. She's been trying to push me out since day one. I'm not exactly the society wife she wanted for her precious son. What are you going to do? I stand and walk to my office window, looking down at the city below. 3 years of enduring Judith's subtle jabs about my foster care background, of Nolan gradually pulling away, of trying to prove I belonged in their world. I'm going to destroy them, I say, surprised by the coldness in my voice. Not just Nolan, Judith too. They want to play games? Fine, let's play. Isabel. Jenna's voice carries a warning. Think about what you're saying. Your parents. The Thompsons taught me about love and family. Nolan and Judith are about to teach me about revenge. I turn from the window. Will you help me? Jenna studies me for a long moment, then nods slowly. Whatever you need, but promise me one thing? What? Don't lose yourself in this. I've known you since college. You're better than them. My phone buzzes again. A text from Nolan. Dinner tonight? Have news to share. I smile, imagining the lies he's prepared, the excuses he'll offer. I won't lose myself, I tell Jenna. I'm going to find myself, and they're going to wish I hadn't. I pick up my phone and type back, can't wait. I have news too. The game begins now, and I intend to win. Dad's hands still smell like glass dust and metal when he hugs me. The familiar scent hits harder tonight, making my throat tight as I stand in the Thompsons' kitchen. Their modest home feels like a fortress compared to the hollow mansion I share with Nolan. You're too thin, Mom says, sliding a plate of lasagna across the counter. Has that fancy husband of yours forgotten how to feed you? If she only knew. I force a smile, watching her bustle around the kitchen she's ruled for 30 years. Just busy with work, the Korean deal is taking up all my time. Speaking of work, Dad says, settling into his usual chair. How's Nolan handling the merger? Must be keeping him at the office late. The fork freezes halfway to my mouth. What merger? Dad's weathered face creases with concern. The Carter Financial merger with East Asian markets. It's been all over the business news. Thought you knew, being his wife and all. The lasagna turns to ash in my mouth. Nolan hadn't mentioned any merger, but he'd mentioned Amanda Chen's expertise in Asian markets countless times over dinner. My phone vibrates. A text from Nolan. Where are you? Thought we were having dinner. Isabel? Mom's voice pulls me back. You've gone pale, sweetheart. I'm fine. The lie comes easily now. Just remembered I forgot to send an important email. Dad leans forward, his calloused hands folding on the table. Something's wrong, real wrong. I can see it in your eyes, same as when you first came to us. Richard, Mom warns, but he continues. Remember what I told you then? About broken glass? I nod, throat tight. That even shattered pieces can be melted down and made new. That's right. Whatever's broken, it can be fixed or reformed into something different, something stronger. My phone buzzes again. Judith this time. Darling, Nolan says you're not answering. We have wonderful news to discuss. Don't be difficult. I have to go. I stand abruptly, chair scraping against linoleum. There's something I need to handle. Mom catches my arm as I reach the door. Isabel Thompson Carter, you listen to me. Whatever's happening, remember who you are, not who they want you to be. I kiss her cheek, breathing in the scent of home. I know exactly who I am. That's what scares me. The drive to Nolan's office takes 30 minutes. Security waves me through. Mrs. Carter, always welcome. The elevator rises smoothly to the 40th floor, each ping marking another step toward confrontation. I hear their voices before I reach his office. Nolan and Amanda discussing profit margins and market penetration like they weren't penetrating something else entirely last week. Isabel? Nolan spots me through the glass walls. What are you doing here? Surprising my husband. I step inside, smile fixed. Hello, Amanda. Working late again? Amanda gathers her papers, perfectly manicured nails clicking against the desk. Just finishing up merger details. I'll leave you two alone. No need, I say sweetly. I'm sure whatever you're discussing affects me too. After all, I handle all our Asian translations. Nolan's jaw tightens. We haven't announced the merger yet. It's confidential. Like your office meetings after hours? Amanda pales, nearly dropping her papers. I should go. Yes, you should. I turn to Nolan as she flees. Interesting choice, putting the merger lead in charge of your extramarital activities too. Very efficient. Isabel, save it. Your mother's waiting to celebrate your wonderful news, remember? Should I tell her what I'm celebrating? He reaches for me, but I step back. Let me explain. The merger, Amanda, it's complicated. No, it's quite simple. I move toward the door. You chose your path. Now I'm choosing mine. What does that mean? I pause, hand on the door frame. Ask your mother. I'm sure she can explain how quickly things can shatter. The elevator doors close on his confused face. In my pocket, my phone buzzes with another message from Judith. I delete it without reading. Dad's right. Broken things can be reformed. But sometimes they come back sharper than before. The Carter family estate looms before me like a medieval fortress, all stone and judgment. Judith's annual garden party swirls across the manicured lawn, a sea of pastels and pearls, wealth dripping from every carefully curated conversation. I adjust my simple black dress, a deliberate choice among their summer florals. Isabel, darling. Judith materializes beside me, champagne flute in hand. We missed you at the club fundraiser yesterday. Amanda gave quite the impressive presentation about the merger. Of course she did. I was having dinner with my parents, the Thompsons. She says their name like it's a medical condition. How quaint, though perhaps it's time to focus more on your actual family. You mean like you've been focusing on my marriage? Her perfectly lined eyes narrow. I don't know what you're implying. Then let me show you. I pull out my phone, opening the email I discovered this morning. Interesting correspondence between you and Amanda Chen from 6 months ago. My son needs someone who understands our world. Your words, I believe? The champagne flute trembles slightly. You've been going through private emails? Amazing what people will share when they feel wronged. Amanda's assistant was quite helpful after you had her fired last week. Mother? Nolan approaches, his smile faltering as he reads the tension. Everything all right? Show him, I say to Judith. Tell him how you orchestrated every lunch meeting, every late-night project with Amanda, how you promised her partnership in the merger if she could. What was the phrase? Help Nolan see his potential beyond his current situation? Isabel, you're making a scene. Judith's voice drops to a harsh whisper. No, Mother, she's telling the truth. Amanda appears, clutching a manila envelope. I'm sorry, Nolan. I can't do this anymore. She hands him the envelope. Everything's here. The emails, the promises, the planned accidental meetings. Nolan's face drains of color as he reads. Mother, what did you do? What any mother would do. Judith straightens, mask firmly in place. That girl was never going to fit into our world. Look at her, still clinging to her factory upbringing while we're trying to close deals with international markets. That factory girl, I step closer, just secured the Korean translation contract your merger depends on. Check your email, Nolan. They're only willing to work with me as lead translator. Funny how quickly loyalty shifts when people discover manipulation. You can't, Judith starts, but Nolan cuts her off. Stop! His hands shake as he looks between us. Isabel, I never knew about the emails, about my mother's involvement. But you knew about Amanda. You chose to act on my mother's orchestrations. I turn to the gathering crowd of guests. Just like you chose to hide the merger from me while parading your affair through your office windows. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Judith's carefully constructed social facade cracks like thin ice. I loved you, I tell Nolan, voice steady. But your mother was right about one thing. I don't belong in your world. Because in my world, we don't destroy people to climb higher. Please, he reaches for me. We can fix this. No, I step back. But we can end it. The divorce papers are in your office. Sign them or the emails go public. Your choice. You wouldn't dare, Judith hisses. You'll destroy everything. I think of Dad's words about broken glass, about reformation. Sometimes destruction is necessary for rebuilding. You taught me that. Turning away, I walk through the parting crowd. Behind me, I hear Judith's sharp intake of breath, Nolan calling my name, Amanda's heels clicking as she flees. But I don't look back. My phone buzzes, Jenna texting from her watch post. Holy shit, you actually did it. You okay? I text back one word. Free. The garden party dissolves into chaos behind me, but I feel only peace. Let them scramble to contain the damage. I've learned that some things aren't meant to be contained, like truth, like justice, like the satisfaction of watching carefully laid plans shatter against their makers. Dad was right. Broken things can become something new. And sometimes that something is exactly what you were meant to be all along. 3 days after the garden party, my office door swings open without warning. My boss, Marcus Chen, stands there with a face like thunder. Behind him, Judith Carter smiles like a shark scenting blood. Isabel, we need to discuss your position with the company. Marcus closes the door, trapping us in this perfect triangle of tension. Of course. I keep my voice steady, though my fingers curl against the desk. Is this about the Korean contract? This is about your abuse of company resources, Judith cuts in, accessing private emails, threatening corporate partnerships, using translation contracts as leverage for personal vendettas. I look at Marcus. Interesting accusations from someone who doesn't work here. Mrs. Carter sits on our board now, Marcus says, not meeting my eyes. The merger includes several board position changes. Of course it does. I should have seen this coming. The Korean contract? I ask, already knowing the answer. Being reassigned to Amanda Chen's team. Judith's victory gleams in her eyes. Given your personal conflicts, it seems appropriate. My phone buzzes. A text from Jenna. 911. Check your email now. If you'll excuse me, I reach for my laptop. I need to verify something with legal. There's nothing to verify, Judith says smoothly. The paperwork is already processed. I open the email anyway. It's from Amanda Chen, subject line empty. Inside is a single video file. Security footage from Judith's office at Carter Financial. The timestamp shows yesterday. Before you make any decisions, Marcus, I turn my laptop around. You might want to watch this. The footage plays silently. Judith and Amanda in heated discussion. Money changing hands. Amanda's resignation letter being torn up. A clear view of Judith's notebook as she writes, "Transfer Isabel's contracts. Remove obstacles." Marcus's expression darkens. "Mrs. Carter, what exactly am I looking at?" "A desperate fabrication," Judith snaps, but her perfectly maintained composure cracks slightly. "Obviously doctored by a disgruntled employee." "Obviously," I agree, except our IT department can verify its authenticity, and the SEC might be interested in the insider trading discussion that follows. Should I play that part? Judith's hand trembles as she reaches for her phone. "You have no idea what you're doing." "Actually, I do. For once, I really do." I stand, gathering my things. "Marcus, I quit. But before I go, check the merger documentation. Carefully, especially the parts about asset distribution and board control." Understanding dawns in Marcus's eyes. He turns to Judith. "You were never authorized to offer those board positions, were you?" "I'll handle this," she hisses into her phone. "Nolan, get over here now." "He can't," I tell her. "He's meeting with the SEC. Apparently, someone sent them some very interesting emails about the real structure of the merger. Did you know Amanda keeps excellent records?" The color drains from Judith's face. "You vindictive little—" "Careful," I cut her off. "The security cameras in here work too." Marcus moves toward the door. "I need to call our lawyers." "Do that," I say, picking up my bag. "Oh, and Judith, the Thompsons send their regards. Dad says sometimes the smallest cracks are what bring down the whole structure." She follows me to the elevator, fury radiating from every designer-clad inch. "You think you've won? You're nothing. A charity case playing at success." The elevator arrives with a soft ding. "No, Judith, I'm exactly what you made me, someone who learned to play your game better than you." As the doors close, I see Marcus rushing toward his office, phone pressed to his ear. My own phone buzzes again. "Jenna, done. Evidence sent to all board members. You okay?" I text back. "Never better. The truth is, I'm exhausted. Revenge takes more than it gives." But as the elevator descends, I feel something else breaking free, not just from Judith's schemes or Nolan's betrayal, but from my own fear of being that unwanted foster child again. Sometimes you have to shatter everything to find out what you're really made of. And sometimes what breaks you free is exactly what they never thought you'd use against them, the truth they taught you to hide. Jenna's apartment looks like a war room. Laptops, documents, and takeout containers cover every surface. The wall behind her couch displays a timeline of Judith's manipulations: photos, emails, financial records. 3 weeks of meticulous planning comes down to tomorrow night's charity gala. The guest list leaked, Jenna says, tapping her laptop. Every board member from both companies will be there. Perfect timing. I study the security layout she's pulled up. And the video? Loaded on every screen in the ballroom. One click and her phone rings, cutting her off. She frowns at the screen. It's Amanda. My stomach tightens. Speaker. Amanda's voice crackles through, breathless and panicked. Isabel, they know. Judith somehow found out about tomorrow. She's planning something. What exactly? I keep my voice steady despite my racing pulse. I don't know, but she met with your parents today. The room tilts. The Thompsons? When? This afternoon, at the factory. I followed her there after she left the office. Jenna grabs my arm as I reach for my keys. Isabel, wait. This could be a trap. Those are my parents. I shake her off. She's already taken everything else. Exactly why you need to think this through. What would your dad say? Dad's words echo in my head. Sometimes the strongest glass has invisible flaws. My phone buzzes. Judith. Dinner tomorrow? Just us girls. So much to discuss about family loyalty. She's baiting you, Jenna warns. I know, I text back. Looking forward to it. Amanda's voice cuts through the tension. There's more. Nolan's been moving money, large amounts, offshore accounts. Can you track it? Already did. He's liquidating everything, including your joint assets. The betrayal hits like a physical blow. Even now, after everything, he can still hurt me. Isabel? Jenna's watching me carefully. What do you want to do? I walk to her wall of evidence, touching a photo of Nolan and me from our wedding day. We looked so happy, so real. We moved tonight. The gala's tomorrow. They're expecting tomorrow. Tonight we take everything they think is safe. I turn to face them. Amanda, can you access the offshore account numbers? Yes, but send them to my lawyer. Now. Jenna, release the merger evidence to the board members tonight instead of at the gala. And tomorrow? Jenna asks. Tomorrow, I keep my dinner date with Judith. That's insane, they say in unison. No, it's perfect. While she's trying to threaten me over appetizers, the board will be discovering her fraud. By dessert, she'll have nothing left to bargain with. And your parents? Amanda asks quietly. They taught me that sometimes you have to break something completely to build it stronger. I pick up my phone as it buzzes again. Dad calling. But first, I need to make sure they're safe. Isabel. Dad's voice is tight with worry. Judith Carter was here. I know. Are you and Mom okay? We're fine. But baby girl, she had photos of you meeting with Amanda, with lawyers. She says you're going to destroy her family. She destroyed mine first. A long pause. Your mother's worried you're losing yourself in this. I'm finding myself, Dad. Finally. At what cost? His voice cracks. The Isabel we raised wouldn't. The Isabel you raised was weak. They made sure I knew that every day. No. His tone sharpens. The Isabel we raised was strong enough to love despite being hurt. Don't let them take that from you, too. The words hit harder than any of Judith's threats. Behind me, Jenna and Amanda wait in tense silence. I have to go, I tell him. Lock the doors tonight. Don't answer for anyone. Isabel, I hang up, turning to face my co-conspirators. Send everything, now. Tonight we break them all. As they rush to comply, I stare at my wedding photo again. Dad's right. I am losing myself. But maybe that's the price of justice. Or maybe it's just what I tell myself to justify becoming exactly what Judith always said I was, an outsider who destroys everything she touches. Tomorrow we'll find out which version of me survives. The charity gala glitters like broken glass, all sharp edges and false brilliance. I adjust my red dress, the color of warning, of blood in the water. As Judith approaches my table, triumph already gleaming in her eyes. Darling, you came. She sits, diamond bracelet catching the light. Though I'm surprised you'd show your face after last night's unfortunate email leak. Someone had to witness your grand finale. I sip my water, watching the room fill with board members and socialites. Where's Nolan? Dealing with your mess, naturally. The board seems quite concerned about those merger documents you distributed. My phone vibrates. Jenna. Amanda's gone dark. Can't reach her. Ice slides down my spine, but I keep my expression neutral. Fascinating how quickly loyalty shifts, isn't it? Indeed, Judith's smile sharpens. Speaking of loyalty, your parents send their regards. Such a shame about the factory inspection tomorrow. Safety violations can be so costly. The threat lands like a physical blow. You wouldn't I? Your father's hands already shake from nerve damage. One anonymous tip about unsafe conditions. She shrugs delicately. At their age, starting over would be impossible. Nolan appears beside us, looking haunted. It's done, Mother. The board accepted our explanation about the documents being fabricated. Of course they did. Judith pats his hand. Family always protects its own. Is that what you call it? I stand, fury burning through my veins. Show them the video, Nolan. Tell them how your mother orchestrated everything. The affair, the merger, all of it. Isabel, please. His voice cracks. They'll destroy us. You destroyed us first. Enough. Judith rises, steel beneath silk. Amanda provided a full statement about your attempts to sabotage the merger. Security footage shows you accessing private files. The board knows everything. Amanda would never. Money speaks louder than loyalty, dear. You taught us that. She gestures to the approaching security guards. These gentlemen will escort you out, unless you'd prefer they call the police? My phone buzzes again. Dad. Factory inspectors just left. Said they received multiple complaints. What's happening? The room spins slightly. Everything I'd planned, every piece of evidence, turned against me. Even Amanda. One last chance, Judith whispers. Walk away now, or I'll take everything. Your parents' factory, your career, every last shred of dignity you think you have left. Nolan won't meet my eyes. The security guards draw closer. Around us, the gala continues its glittering dance, oblivious to the destruction at its center. You're right, I say finally. You win. Smart girl. Judith's victory glows complete. I knew you'd see reason. I turn toward the exit, then pause. Just one thing. Yes, Dad always said glass breaks in unexpected ways. I pull out my phone, clicking a single button. Every screen in the ballroom flickers to life, showing security footage from Judith's office. Not the merger meetings, but something far more damning. Judith watches in horror as her own voice fills the room. The merger's a shell game. Transfer the assets before anyone realizes. Then we'll strip the company bare. The footage continues, revealing every detail of her plan. Not just the affair or the merger, but years of fraud, manipulation, and corruption. She lunges for me, but security catches her arms. Different security now. SEC agents who've been waiting for exactly this moment. The thing about glass ceilings, I tell her as agents approach, is that when they break, they shatter everything below them too. Nolan stares at his mother as understanding dawns. You used me. All of it. Amanda, Isabel, the merger. I protected you, Judith shrieks as they lead her away. Everything I did was for you. But he's already walking away, shoulders bowed under the weight of truth. My phone buzzes one last time. Amanda. Sorry for going dark. Had to make sure the SEC got everything. We did it. The gala dissolves into chaos around me. I should feel triumphant, but all I feel is hollow, because in breaking them, I've broken something in myself, too. Something that maybe can't be reformed. Dad was right. The strongest glass has invisible flaws. I just never thought mine would be the need for revenge itself. The police station's interview room feels like a tomb. Judith sits across from me, her designer suit exchanged for prison orange, her perfectly manicured hands now bare of jewelry. Only her eyes remain unchanged, cold, calculating, deadly. Come to gloat? She adjusts her cuffs with practiced elegance, as if they're silk instead of steel. I came to return something. I place her diamond bracelet on the table. Nolan asked me to give it back. My son wouldn't. Your son signed a full confession this morning. About everything. I push a document across the table, including what really happened to his father. The mask slips just for a moment. Fear flickers across her face before the ice returns. You have no idea what you're talking about. The merger wasn't your first cover-up, was it? 20 years ago, when Carter Sr. threatened to expose your embezzlement, you arranged an accident. Like father, like son, both sacrificed for your ambition. Prove it. Already did. Amazing what people remember when offered immunity. The mechanic who tampered with the brakes was very cooperative. She lunges across the table, mask shattering completely. Guards rush in, but not before her nails rake my cheek. You destroyed everything. You did that yourself. I touch the blood on my face. Every manipulation, every lie, every person you sacrificed, it all led here. I protected my family. You destroyed your family and mine. Your family? She laughs, harsh and broken. Those factory workers who took in strays? That's not family, that's charity. The door opens. Nolan stands there, looking older than his years. Stop, Mother. It's over. Darling, please, everything I did was for me? No. His voice cracks. It was for you. Always for you. Dad knew it. Isabel knew it. I just didn't want to see it. Nolan, the SEC found everything. The offshore accounts, the shell companies, Dad's accident report. I signed the confession because it was true. All of it. Judith collapses into her chair, defeat finally breaking through her armor. You were supposed to be perfect. Both of you. My perfect family. There's no such thing, I tell her. Real family loves despite the imperfections. Something you never understood. My phone buzzes. Dad, coming home soon? One last thing. I pull out a final document. The factory inspection? It passed, with honors. Dad's safety protocols exceeded every standard. Your last attempt to hurt them failed, too. Nolan touches my arm. Isabel, I'm sorry. For everything. I know. And I do. In his eyes, I see the same trapped child I once was, desperate for love that came with conditions. Was any of it real? He asks. Us? Parts were, but we both lived someone else's story for too long. Judith watches this exchange with dawning horror, not at her situation, but at the realization that her control is truly broken, her son choosing truth over protection, her perfect world crumbling not from external forces, but from within. You think you've won? Her voice turns venomous. You're still that unwanted child playing dress-up in our world. Nothing will change that. You're right. I gather my things. I am that child, the one who survived foster homes and rejection and your manipulation, the one who learned that real strength isn't in destroying others, but in choosing not to. How noble, she sneers. And yet here we are, after your perfect revenge. No, here we are after justice. The difference is, I can walk away. I head for the door, but Nolan's voice stops me. What happens now? Now, you tell the truth, all of it, and maybe someday you'll build something real from the ruins. And you? I look at my phone, at Dad's message waiting for a response. I'm going home, to my family. Behind me, Judith calls out one last time, but her words fade against the guard's shutting door. Her power, her threats, her perfect world, all shattered like the glass she thought would cut me. Sometimes the strongest things aren't the ones that never break, but the ones that learn to rebuild from the pieces. The glass factory's furnace roars like a living thing, turning sand into possibility. Dad stands at the controls, his hands steady now that the threat of inspection has passed. He doesn't look up when I enter, but his shoulders relax, recognizing my footsteps. Got something to show you, he says, adjusting the temperature. New technique we're trying. I watch as he pulls a glowing mass from the furnace. With practiced movements, he shapes it, not into the usual perfect spheres or cylinders, but into something deliberately irregular. See these imperfections? He points to the subtle waves and bubbles in the cooling glass. Japanese technique, kintsugi for glass. The flaws make it valuable. Dad found this in the office. He hands me an envelope, worn at the edges. Inside is a photo. Me at 12, newly arrived at the Thompsons. All sharp edges and distrust. Remember what you said that first night? That I'd leave before you could send me away. And I told you that broken things belong together. My throat tightens. I almost became her, Dad. I wanted to destroy them so badly. But you didn't. He sets the cooling glass aside. You chose justice over vengeance. That's the difference between you and Judith. My phone buzzes. An email from Marcus Chin. The Korean contract is still mine if I want it. A chance to rebuild on my own terms. Speaking of justice, Mom appears in the doorway. Someone's here to see you. Amanda Chen stands in the factory office, looking out of place in her designer suit. I had to tell you myself, she says, turning, about the anonymous video. You sent it? She shakes her head. Robert Kane did, Judith's former CFO, the one she framed for embezzlement 5 years ago. He'd been gathering evidence against her for years. The affair just gave him the final piece. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve to know you weren't the first person she tried to destroy, but you were the first one strong enough to stop her. Through the window, I watch Dad return to his work, adding more flawed pieces to his collection, each one unique, valuable, not despite its imperfections, but because of them. What happens to Nolan? I ask. Probation, in exchange for his testimony. He's selling everything, paying back what his mother stole. Amanda hesitates. He asked about you. Tell him I'm where I belong. After she leaves, I join Dad at the furnace. He hands me a pair of gloves, worn smooth from years of use. Together, we pull another piece from the fire. It's harder this way, he explains as we shape the glass, controlling the flaws, making them beautiful instead of hiding them. But worth it. Like family? He smiles. Exactly like family. My phone buzzes again, Jenna this time. Dinner tonight? World needs celebrating. But I'm already where I need to be. In this factory that smells of heat and possibility, watching Dad turn broken things into art, feeling Mom's presence behind us, steady as a heartbeat. You know, Dad says, examining our finished piece, glass has memory. Even after you reshape it, it remembers what it used to be, carries those experiences in its structure. I think of Judith in her prison cell, of Nolan facing his truth, of my own journey from revenge to justice. We all carry our past, shaped by it, but not bound to it. One more? Dad gestures to the furnace. I pull on the gloves, feeling their familiar weight. One more. Together, we reach into the fire, ready to make something new from the heat and pressure of transformation. Not perfect, not flawless, but real. Like family, like love, like forgiveness. Sometimes the strongest things aren't the ones that never break, but the ones that learn to carry their breaks with grace, turning wounds into windows, letting light shine through the very places they once shattered.